today at a different Chick Farm and Orchards. It is Wednesday, May 10th, I believe, and I'm going to show you some of our harvest that I'm going to be picking today. See what we have available and go through here and see what needs to be picked. Looks like this is the row I've been kind of picking at for a little while. This is our green Maserata Cauliflower. Beautiful, beautiful green color. That is actually probably a couple days from being done. Our broccoli this year has not headed real well, but we've got tons of little slide shoots. So we just take that and pick them off. That one actually started flowering a bit early, but we take those, pull those off. Great to eat, snack on. I mean, you cut your broccoli off anyway and eat it, so side shoots don't bother us one bit. Let's see, here are some of our, that green Maserata is definitely ripe. That sucker has really grown over the last day or two. So we're just gonna take it here and break it right off. And there you go. Eat that for dinner or freeze it. One of the two. We have actually been taking our brassicas and soaking them in salt water because we do not spray. I don't like chemicals. And so you get a little bugs in there. But if you just soak them in salt water, it gets almost everything out and makes your food healthy rather than spraying it full of chemicals. So that's a little tip if you don't want to spray and want to go organic. Let's see. Here are some of our peas. See if we got any of those. We picked peas a couple days ago, but these things produce really quickly. A lot of people trellis their peas. Sometimes we do. We did not this year. We just kind of let them grow. That one's a little small, but we can still pick it. Tomorrow it'll be really, really big. So we'll go ahead and pick those. There's another cauliflower that has grown profusely. You can see right here, something's been gnawing on it. All those leaves with the holes. Kind of tricked some of our bugs this year with companion planting. Not sure if it's the radishes or the peas, but have had a whole lot less bug damage this year. So we're going to keep trying it and see how it turns out. And you can tell our weeds are growing really, really big. We haven't got up here to weed in a few days, and we got a monsoon the other day, so Let's see, those are perfect. Got a really good size. These are sugar snap peas. You can't grow them throughout the summertime here in East Tennessee because our temperatures get really hot. We probably only have another week or two of these before they start dying off and they're no good anymore. But while they last, they're so good. We actually just eat them crisp out here in the garden. Take them inside, eat them, freeze them, put them in our CSAs. But that one's a little skinny. That one's perfect. And we let some of our radishes go to seed so we can collect seeds off of them. Not really particular on these radishes. I've got some special ones growing out back that we keep separated. But these are just your everyday run-of-the-mill radishes, so we'll let them go to seed. You can actually eat these little pods right here. Very good. Very nutritious also. But we're going to let them get seeds. That way we don't have to buy seeds for those basic radishes next year. And we've got a few more peas here. Kind of just snap off on your hand. They snap when you eat them. They snap off when you pick them. Maybe that's why they call them snap peas. Full of snaps. Now, You can pick them when they're really skinny like this, or you can let them grow where they have more seeds. You can actually see by the sunset those little tiny seeds growing in there. They're good either way. We like them either way. They'll last a little bit longer when they're a little bit fatter with those seeds, but either way, you can eat them. And if I wait till tomorrow, I might not get out here to pick these again. So something might eat them, or they might get too big and not good enough to pick. So we're just going to pick them now. There we go. That one's beautiful. It's a little skinny. Me and Morgan picked the other day. We actually missed quite a few. Had to go back through here again because, as you can see, they're like the same color. It's easy to miss. You gotta pull them up, pull them around, check all over, but it's fun. Ah, here is a purple of Sicily down here. There we go. Ah, that weed don't get out of the way. There we go. Pull that sucker out. Those are not only nutritious, but they are very beautiful. The only thing with the purple of Sicily is that when you cook it, it doesn't stay that pretty purple color. So if you want that pretty purple color to stay, eat it fresh. Don't steam it, don't cook it. And it'll stay that. You'll still get the nutrition from that purple color, but it just will change color and be your normal kind of cauliflower color. So a lot more radishes here, and peas. Like I said, they really are everywhere, and I am missing a bunch, I'm sure. You all can probably spot some more that I've missed, but I'll probably come back out here and pick some more too. One thing we've not had such an issue with this year, might be an issue soon, but not yet, is the deer have not came out here and eat my peas. That is one problem we always have with brassica and deer, is they like to annihilate it. But this year, not had such a problem. They are still here because they're eating other stuff, and we see where they've bedded down at night. Ooh, there's a very pretty purple of Sicily. Now that one's a little bit small, but some of mine have been. Growing brassicas in East Tennessee in the springtime doesn't always turn out like you'd want it to. Unfortunately, because we get really cold weather, and then all of a sudden it heats up. You know, we've had 90-degree days this week, some 70-degree days. We've had lots of rain and then drought, but it's kind of what we get around here. So, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but I would rather have some brassicas than no brassicas. So I plant them anyway. And sometimes when you pick them like this, if you keep the plant growing here, it'll actually produce more. So we let them stay for a little bit, especially the broccoli, because it almost always produces more broccoli after you get done. There's a little shoot of broccoli. It's a whole bunch of peas right there. That one's pretty good sized. And we'll come back and pick more of them too. Here are some of our cabbages. You can see got a little bit of bug damage on that. That's actually got quite a bit of bug damage. But we'll soak it in salt water, cut it up, it'll be just fine. Now, on our cabbages, I didn't actually label the different kinds. I am fairly confident that I have got the large Dutch, but then I've also got the other kind that is more conical shaped. So we'll see what they produce. And like I said, we've got a lot of weeds mixed in with our brassicas, but we'll get out here this week and get it took care of. I am going to hop, skip, and a jump over this way. And look at our squashes. I actually got some squash and tomatoes here. We have heavily pruned our tomatoes, so they are rather tall, but just a few little leaves on there. These were actually, this side of the squash was planted the same time as the squash down there, which we will see in just a minute. But these are just now starting to bloom and produce little fruitlets or vegetables. Right there. Whereas the other ones have already been producing. And we've probably might have some ready to go right now. One big thing is we have a creek right over here. And it kind of seems to keep everything wet on this side. So sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's not so bad, sometimes it's great because you don't have to water that side, but then sometimes they get waterlogged. So, yeah, this is what it is. As we've discussed in other videos, we have actually put some peppers in between our squashes to kind of deter squash bugs. Now, this is a thorn in my side. This is Spiny Amaranth when it's immature. It will produce humongous thorns. They hurt, they burn, they leave red marks. We also like to call it around here Satan's weed. Pretty confident that's one of the first weeds from the Garden of Eden that God put in there as torture. Ooh, got a big pepper growing right here. That's going to be a really nice looking purple pepper as it matures. Very, very nice. Ooh. This little tomato didn't make it. It got broke in the monsoon the other day. Too many high winds and hard rains and just didn't make it. Now, we've got planted here, and it finally started coming up. It happened the other day. We've got our peppers and our squashes, but we also planted some beans and some corn in the middle. This was kind of dual purpose as something else as a companion plant, but also to kind of shade the squash so it doesn't get so much sun. But we figured we'd give it a try and see how it works. So we'll update you throughout the year as it goes. And when I get up here, I will tell you what kind of beans and squash we have growing among the weeds too. Cool. Let's see. This is one of our summer ball squashes. Very nice size. It is probably going to be ready tomorrow or the day after. So, this bean and corn happens to be Stowell's Evergreen. So, this is actually an old heirloom corn we acquired some seeds for. The corn is, actually, yeah, corn's starting to pull up. Sometimes it's a little bit slower than beans around here. But it is one of the longest lasting corns. Now, it is considered a sweet corn, but it is not extremely sweet, as heirloom corns are. when you get hybrid corn, you get that super sweetness. You don't usually get that from heirloom corn. When we get those ready, we will be taking a video of them and letting you know what our take is on the flavor of them. So, as we go through here, we've got some zucchinis growing. More ball squash. A lot of kids really like the summer ball squashes, I guess because it's fun and interesting, and you know, who gets a round squash? Got some more over here. Now this is typically what happens, probably what happened right here, is that little squash did not get fertilized, so it just dropped off and died. Could have been something else happened along the way, but a lot of times with squash, they'll actually produce the little ones, just like there. And as they grow, if they don't get fertilized, they'll just fall off and die. If they are fertilized, they'll just keep growing. And then you'll get vegetables to eat. And let's see. This patch of corn and beans happens to be Aunt Mary's sweet corn, which is an old heirloom variety. Also, it's a sweet corn. I've never had this one. Don't know a whole lot about it, but we figured we'd give it a shot. Try not to do many hybrids around here. So we're trying a lot of these old heirloom varieties, seeing how they do. A lot of people say with heirloom corn, they just don't taste that good. But we're going to give it a shot and see how good they do taste. And with all the varieties out there, something's got to taste good. So we'll keep you updated. More, lots and lots of summer ball squash. That's what kind of beans we had. We actually have turkey craw beans growing all the way down this row. We have on this row Cherokee black beans. They're actually the Baker Creek Trail of, well, we got them from Baker Creek, but they are the Cherokee Trail of Tears, which is a black bean. There's not a whole lot of them, but we like to keep the black bean for ourselves, so we don't have to buy them from the grocery store. But they're great in dishes, great to dry and keep. So it's one of those we just like. Don't need a whole lot of them, but they are really good. Now, let's see. This is actually one of your basics from here to the third stalks down there. This is Country Gentleman. It is one of the heirlooms that they say taste the best as far as corn go. We've grown it several times. We love the flavor of it. Tastes really good. We don't know exactly how to compare it as far as to hybrids, but we do have some hybrids growing in another spot. So we'll do some comparisons between the hybrids and the heirlooms and see how they grow, how the taste is, the pollination of them, so on and so forth. So keep watching for those videos. This week we actually picked all of our scapes, or at least the majority of them. This garlic probably has got another 3 to 4 weeks to go. It was actually starting to get dried out down here because of our kind of drought and heat. Got a good dose of water the other day, and that green is starting to grow again. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we'll have nice bulbs of garlic soon. This variety here is Music. We tried it for the first time last year, and it was quite delicious. We loved it, so we decided to do more of it this year. And we have actually missed a few scapes from little bitty tiny garlics down here. So what you do is, it's a bad example because it's so tiny, but right here, smack dab in the middle of this garlic, it will grow this curly Q little scape. It's got this little bulb on the end that will actually flower if you allow it, and produce seeds. But we don't want that because we want big cloves of garlic. And what I will do is I will take the cloves of garlic. I will have so many allotted aside that I will save to plant in the fall, and we will eat garlic. We will make some garlic powder. Some CSA boxes will get the garlic, but most of it, probably about half of this, I will make into more garlic beds next year. So depends on how many cloves are in it, you know, garlic, and what all we get, and how many of them last, because I like to use them in my sauces and all my canning stuff. So back to, we're going to pick this little sucker. Now you want to pick it right here where it comes off the plant. And there you go, a little garlic scape. See, there's actually another one right here too. Bound to the ground. That's how he missed it. May have thought that that garlic was dead. So now we have 2 garlic scapes. Add that to my collection of a lot back in the house. I am actually using my dehydrator. If you follow us on the Instagram or on Facebook, I've showed you some pictures, but using my dehydrator this week to dry some scapes so I can grind them up and make powder, because we like to make our own seasonings, and that way we actually know what is in our seasonings. Ah, we missed some more. And we missed that one too. See, you just take it right here and snip it off. Now, if you saw my pictures on Instagram, we are actually using a very, very old dehydrator that my papa gave me a long time ago, probably 20 years ago. But I've got an Excalibur coming, but because of all this COVID stuff, people's wanting to do all the homesteading, and everybody has bought all of this stuff, which is great. We love to see people do more homesteading and grow their own food and save their own foods, which is wonderful. But for us, it kind of put us behind on our dehydrator. So my little dehydrator takes like 4 days to dry scapes, whereas in the Excalibur, it'll take 8 hours. So I'm hoping it comes soon, so we'll see. And then I'll do a video on it and drying stuff on it. Oh, my hands smell like garlic, which is delicious. No vampires will be biting me tonight. Okay, so we missed more scapes than I thought, which happens. Kind of like the peas over there. There's a lot I missed. I'll have to go back and get them later, after I water our greenhouse. This is actually not garlic, nor is it an onion, but it's a wild onion. That's what would basically be on the scapes if you let them go to flower. This is our, I think this one is Korean red. We've got 2 more right here. No, this is Georgian fire. We have not picked all the scapes on this one. They are a little tiny right now, so I will probably give them another day or 2 just to grow a little bit, and then we'll pick them. I've already picked several out of the Georgian fires, but we did leave a few of them. As far as flavor difference, I didn't really see any difference. The Georgian fire, you can see, produced really, really well for us. Now, this may also be because it is back towards the middle of our lower field. From right where we're getting ready to start with this last garlic, it did not produce well at all. But it is also closer to our creek. So this one should be the Korean red. Yep, this is a Korean red. I probably had 3 bulbs of garlic. And planted probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, somewhere around 15, and we have 3. A lot of them came up and started to grow, and they died. So I don't know if it's our temperatures, if it's the wetness, or if it just not like our area in East Tennessee, but it just didn't do very well at all. So I do have a couple more garlics up at the house. I only had 1 clove of each, so I put them in my herb garden so I can keep a watch over them and baby them so I can get more, which apparently is what I should have done with the Korean red, because it didn't turn out real good. Okay, so let's go over and check on our melons. Now, I'm not going to go through all these different varieties, but we will see what is starting to pop up. We have lots of little melon seeds popping up. Now, we did plant some of these the other day that had already started growing, which is probably like that one. But some we started from seed. Now, this is not a melon. This is butterfly weed. We have lots of butterfly weed here. We do let our butterfly weed grow, as you see some stalks here. Now, we try not to let it grow where our vegetables are, because it does take a lot of nutrition. But we like the pollinators from it, and it's pretty, and it smells good. So, right over there, we try to let our butterfly weed grow. We also have, if you will see across the green right here, that is where we have planted a whole plot of sunflowers for our pollinators. We plant our sunflowers together in bunches and let them kind of intermingle. We sell seeds from them and we keep seeds from them, but we don't keep them separated, or at least we don't at this time. We just let them pollinate each other and see what we come out with. So it's interesting every year. Not so many seeds on that variety. Hopefully they come up. We'll see. Ooh, these are doing quite well. Ah, those are sugar baby. Sugar babies do real well in East Tennessee. Not too big. I can tell this one. This is actually the Sun and Moon watermelon, or Moon and Stars. You can tell by the leaves on it. Beautiful green foliage with yellow spots. It's where you get your Moon and Stars from. Oddly enough, the watermelon itself is the same way. The strain that we've got growing here is actually the Van Doren. You can get it from Baker Creek if they have any seeds still available, because they have sold out of almost everything that they've had this year. Thankfully, we bought seeds early. That one's doing rather well. And that one, oh, that one's doing real good. Okay, now we've got our Cantaloupe Beds over here. These are a little bit easier to tell because we cheated, and we have stalks with a variety wrote on them. So these first few varieties are Minnesota Midget, great little watermelons, personal size, or not watermelons, cantaloupes, personal size. Very tasty. Not my favorite, but they're very good. They actually used to be my favorite until I found this next variety, which was Emerald Gem. And it is just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing flavored. So we'll have taste testing of those two also. We'll have them on our farm stand. If you live in the area, you can enjoy one with us. We've got some of those little babies already producing flowers. And these produce melons pretty quickly after they flower, so we'll have melons hopefully very soon. Okay, those are all doing pretty well. Now, tomatoes, we showed you our tomatoes and our peppers the other day. And if you go back and watch that video, I think it was just like a week ago, these have grown a lot. These tomatoes down here on this side are our cherry type tomatoes. So we've got like amethyst green, blueberries, blue goldberries, Eagle Heart yellow, Tommy toes. Tommy toes are growing very, very nicely. We've got hot peppers. We don't have any. We actually keep our hot peppers separated from our sweet peppers because they actually can cross, and then you can get a sweet pepper that will take your head off. It's so hot, so we keep them separated. And once again, I am not going to go down through here and tell you every variety. I will be out of breath, but I'm going to show you how they've grown, which is very nice. Now, we had some little Jamaican Scotch bonnets that we put in here, and they were super, super, super tiny. And they got dried out in the first 2 days because we didn't water them like they should. And so you can see they didn't make it. But thankfully, we have replacements. Now, some of these peppers, it's one of our favorites as a sugar rush. It's actually produced some little bitty peppers already. Very, very good. Not so much heat most of the time, but then sometimes you do get heat. And we've had a couple tomatoes that apparently for whatever reason did not make it, like this blueberries. But this blueberries is great. So these are our Queen Sylvia Golds. They're quite loud. They're very feisty, and the boys are quite spirited.